Now in this video, I'm going to walk you through WinFi Pro 3. From a practical point of view, we'll download it, launch it, and look at the interface, and I'll show you some of the features that will make it more than just a basic Wi-Fi scanner. And the best part, this tool is free. And this is meant for somebody who's new to Wi-Fi tools, but also meant for people who are actually been using these tools. So I'll try to show you a few things that you might find them useful. So let's get in.
Before we go too far, I think it's important to explain what this tool is and what it is not. WinFi is mainly a Wi-Fi scanner, analyzer for Windows. It shows what your Wi-Fi adapter can hear that's around you. So in a normal Wi-Fi card, you can see the nearby SSIDs, BSSIDs, signal strength, channels with security information, vendor information, and a lot of details that have been actually advertised by the access points around you. Now, for beginners, if you are one, this is great because it helps you move beyond just looking at Wi-Fi bars. You can actually see what band you're on, which channel your AP is using, how strong the signal is, and what other networks are around you. Now, for a wireless engineer, the value is that you can go much deeper. You can filter by groups, customize columns, create profiles, look at beacon information, a whole bunch of stuff that you can see around at the bottom here. Now, the important part is to understand what the data source is. Now, by default, your WinFi is using your Windows Wi-Fi adapter. Now, this could be your built-in Wi-Fi card that's in your laptop, or it could be an external Wi-Fi adapter if Windows and the drivers are supporting it properly. So if you see WinFi showing you data, that just depends on what the adapter can see and report. If your adapter does not support, for example, 6 gigahertz, you can't magically expect it to show you information on 6 gigahertz. If the driver does not expose certain details, the tool may not be able to show them to you. And this is where the tool is more powerful. In some workflows, you can add another scanners or sources where you can actually go and add external interface, which could be your Spectrum or just a Wi-Fi scanner in this case, like a USB-based Wi-Fi scanner. Let's say if you did not support 6 gigahertz and you just got yourself a USB-based Wi-Fi NIC. But if your goal is to do a full 802.11 packet capture, let's say for deep packet level troubleshooting, then you still need a proper packet capture workflow tools like AirTool if you're using just a MacBook for a single capture, or an Ekahau Sidekick 2 for multiple captures at the same time. So in a simple way I would explain this, WinFi helps you understand the Wi-Fi environment your adapter can see. It's an excellent for scanning, learning, filtering, quick troubleshooting, beacon visibility, and maybe documentation in some cases. And if you add support for external hardware, it can even go further. But it's not a replacement for a full wireless packet capture workflow if you already have one. So now let's go and get the actual software. Now, first thing I want to point out is that I would download it from the official GitHub page. That's what you want to grab, the actual copy, rather than just grabbing it from anywhere else. So simple, straight up, I'm just going to open up a browser, say WinFi 3 Pro, hit enter. And I'm going to go into the GitHub repository that you see here. That's by the actual creator. And I'm going to do it on my Windows, so I'm going to do it this one. So this is the one that I'm looking for. It's a zip file right here. And I have downloaded it and I've thrown it onto my desktop here. So I can open it up. And I can just click on the exe file here. And we let it go. It says it's unknown, but I'd let it go. And these are some of the options that you want to start after it stops. And if you want to have a little desktop shortcut, sure, why not? We'll just keep it straightforward. And you notice that it's very straightforward when you install it. And here we go, it's up and running already. And that's how fast it is actually. And it starts to populate stuff already. So when you open WinFi, like how I have it open right now here, it might look very busy. But don't worry about every column right away. I like to break the screen into few different areas. I would say the top here, which is where you can stop or stop the scanning here, have different views. In the middle, you have the main grid, right? This is, I almost like to call this like a main grid here. And again, you can change the size of the grids that you have, which shows you all different columns with all different data. And then at the bottom is we have more detailed area. For example, if I want to look at spectrum, I can. And I can also use it as a 2D option or a 3D option, whichever you prefer. If you click on parameters, that will start giving you more information if I'm looking for certain aspects. Now, this is looking for your beacon. So if I want to tap at your radio tap header, that just quickly gives me what radio tap header was provided. So for example, what was the signal you got, what channels you're using, things of that nature. Now for beginners, I would start only with few columns when I'm looking at the top. And this is also where it can give you, like, I can go with very basic view. This is the default view. I can pick a basic view, which is a good start, right? Gives me an idea of what my network is, what BSSID is. Now, first thing generally you would see is BSSID. Just for completion, I want to make sure that everybody understands what the difference between the two is. So the SID is the Wi-Fi name that most people recognize. For example, I see this Meraki Wi-Fi 7, Mist Lab. These are all my labs running behind me. Now, BSSID is different. BSSID is the radio MAC address of the AP or the radio that is advertising that network. This matters a lot in enterprise Wi-Fi. So if you have one SSID, but maybe many APs broadcasting it, so the SSID can be same, but BSSID helps you understand which actual AP radio your laptop can hear right now. If I have 3 different APs in my environment, then I'll have few BSSIDs in this case, right? So simple version would be SSID is the Wi-Fi name, BSID is a specific radio behind that Wi-Fi name. And the next thing that I see here is the RSSI, which is also called as your signal strength, which is your received signal strength. Now, you will usually see this in a negative number. As you notice, it's minus 35 here. And then as you go on, the number gets bigger. Now, the closer it is to 0, the stronger the signal is. Minus 35 is way stronger than minus 70. A lot of people make this mistake that strong just means strong Wi-Fi. Now, this is one thing that you have to understand, that you can still have poor Wi-Fi even after having a strong Wi-Fi signal. Like, you could have interferences, high utilization, bad channel width, or even bad client behavior in this case. Where I like here is I can select a certain SID or BSID if I want, and I can also go signal over time. So for example, if I was looking at this one and I can click on the history, that tells me the signal that it had over the past. Now, I haven't moved my laptop much, but it's still kind of going up and down, which is very normal to see because our signal bounces off through the different things that we have around in our areas. So this is also where I can use my columns and custom views. So custom views can be very simple. So let's say I can create my own profile and I can add things like AP name, or whatever things you think would be more value to you. Minimum SNR, I can start adding that. So you'll notice that beacon interval, as I add those things, and if let's say you don't care about the vendor name at this point, I can take that out. So it starts to give you information that you're interested in. This could be your custom view of the columns that you like. If you're not sure which one to pick, as I said, it gives you a default view, a very basic view, and it also has a pro view, which gives you a view that is used by pros. It has given you more information like supported data rates, channel utilization. So now you start to see more things, special streams that the APs are supporting, more in-depth information starts coming in, right? So for engineer, if you're trying to do some more in-depth troubleshooting, that would be quite handy. These are your profiles that you can pick depending on which one would you like to do. I like this option a lot because it not just gives you some profiles, it also lets you save the profile that you like to see data, right? So if I make the changes, you'll see a little icon behind it, which is like a save button. I click on it, then whatever view I've selected gets saved. This is very helpful when you use a tool often. Instead of rebuilding your view every time, you can actually switch your profile and get back to your view every time that you need. Now, if you have multiple people trying to do the same things, like for example, if they're trying to do documentation and they always like to show the same things, you can actually import your profiles as well. So if I go here and if I can go into settings, that gives me options to import my profile or export one. So if somebody can give one profile to me, I can take that in, or if I have created one and I want to share with somebody, I can do that as well. So that's, I think, a pretty strong. So let's go back to our WinFi Pro now. See, another thing I want to show you is at the top, once you have stopped it, once you've stopped your scan, this is kind of where you will start or stop the scan. Once you've done that, you can actually go back in time and slice and dice the time itself. That is also powerful. You're getting a try to get a snapshot of what happened at that given time. So which is again useful from that perspective. And you can cut it, play it, go back, gives you some options, and then save it as well. Here, if you look at it on the left side, this is where the options start to show up. So if you click on this filter button here, let me walk you through all this here, right? First thing is your coloring options, right? So this is where you can enable or disable your color rules, and they can also be customized. If you go back here, and you're actually able to go into your coloring rules, like from a personalization perspective, pick up the theme that you like. You can go light if you like. I always prefer dark, so I'll always stay there. And you can even pick up the colors. and it gives you that whole option of picking up certain colors for certain things that you want to. For example, in this one, the RSSI was shown as this orange color. If I want to show it as a green, you can. So that's all is inbuilt right here. Other thing is the threshold filter, right? So these is where the filters come in. How do they show up is if I can turn this off now. So if this is where it gives me that option, this filter button is the tab that comes on the left side of the screen. Now this is where all the filters are. So just don't show me any poor, weak signals, only show me excellent signals. That's going to make it stronger. Now, what's your threshold? You can define these thresholds as well here. Like, what's your excellent? So in this case, excellent is anything which is stronger than -50 is excellent. So only show me that's stronger than -50s. Now, this can be very useful because you can kind of understand that which could be channels that are actually, or SSIDs that are actually causing contention. So this is a quick way of checking that as well, right? So I'll open up these ones. So that's your threshold. Now, the other thing you can actually look at it is your network filters, right? So show me which are open SSID, show me which are hidden, and then you can pick up an SSID. So let's say I want to only pick up the SSID which is Meraki. So let's look at that. So now it's only showing me just that, right? Nothing else. This is also interesting is, so let's say if I want to see that, is anybody else kind of stepping on my toes or using my same channels? I can quickly do that, click on spectrum, and that tells me that who's on that. Even from a weak and poor perspective. So looks like nobody else is actually using those channels, so which is good. That's because I have not selected the ones that are, so it's only showing my channels now, right? So these are the only three options that I have. Now, as I said, security, you can pick up, show me the ones that are using WPA3. So you can do all that here. And let's say I'm going to do this, and it's only going to show me any ones that are using that SID as a security, which is WPA3 personal. So these are the SIDs that are using that option, right? Which is pretty amazing. Again, you can select by BSSID if you like to. So that's another option there. So these are all your filters that you can use, right? And there are a whole bunch of them. You can even pick up from a perspective of channel width. Show me if anybody's using 40. Now, is anybody using 40 on 2.4? Well, that's a problem, right? So that quickly tells you that, yeah, this is the person who's going to use it. This is whatever the members only, this SID is using. So quickly I'm able to see if anybody's, doing the wrong things that are not supposed to be done in this perspective. Now, if I go to this little gear icon, this gives me this full screen if you want more real estate to see more stuff at the same time. This little panel is actually also interesting, is this gives you the profiles and the columns that you can select, right? The data grid scaling is just like, okay, you want to go small. I don't know who would like to work on that. It's going to be hard. So yeah, I would want to go full so I can see it properly, right? So those are some of the things that you can do. Other thing you can do is I can click on it and I can say copy the cell content. So let's say I want to see all the networks that I just saw there. So it copies that, and I can bring up a quick notepad here to see what it copied. And if I bring that over here, it brings me that what I copied, right? So if I want to just copy that cell content, like the BSS ID, it's easy for me to just copy that. I can quickly copy that information as well. If I want to, let's say, use it in a Wireshark filter or something like that, it's pretty powerful from that perspective. You can export, you can open it as a PCAP in your Wireshark, so I can do that. And now it will open up in Wireshark. So whole bunch of information, as I said, and now the same information, you can see it in your Wireshark that I just showed you from WinFi. So there is that tie-up as well. Okay, so now going back, here is going to be my workflow that I like to use. So if I have to give somebody a simple workflow, it would be like this. First, filter the SID that you really care about, right? So I want to, let's say, look at Meraki Wi-Fi 7. Second, look at the BSSID if you want to. You can even go, as I said, you can go down and filter the BSSID that you're interested in. So then it will only show you that, right? I see a whole bunch of these here. Now, then I want to look at RSSI to understand what sort of signal strength am I getting. Fourth, I'm looking for the bands itself. So just show you all the bands, or if you only want to see 6 gigahertz, I can pick that up. Now, again, magically, as I said, if you don't have a 6 gigahertz radio on your laptop, this information won't be shown to you. And if you want to show everything now to see who are my nearby networks who are causing contention, seventh could be your security information. And then maybe if you're doing documentation or support, save the session and export the data as I showed you before. So that simple workflow already gives you much more information than just looking at Windows
So
Wi-Fi.
that's the first look at WinFi Pro 3. In one tool, we can see what our laptop hears, understands, and nearby Wi-Fi environment filter the data, create useful views, and capture or export information for later. I really hope this was useful. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.